So, a few world quests later...
Elysian Hold welcomes you.
The hills speak of your faith and honor, and our forces radiate with each victory. Glory to Bastion, glory to the Archon, glory to the Mawwalker.
Our covenant holds true.
Okay. I will take those, thank you.
Many deals for a friend of the Grumble. Like you. Lucky doos and rope.
Hold on. Look. Having this transmogged is very important. Although I will say, the Corrupted Ashbringer does kind of clash with this. As much as I love showing it off that I actually did get this, it actually makes more sense to actually like go more like with this design. I mean, I could go just original, but I prefer the upgraded version. So let's go with that.
Farewell, friend of the Grumbles.
I am honored you stand beside the Kyrian.
You have fulfilled your calling, Mawwalker, and brought peace to our realm. Stay vigilant, for others will similarly call upon you in time. The anima that you have so dutifully recovered will be of great use in the hold. Bring it to Hephaestus. Whoops. You can tell I played a bit of God of War, and these sounds kind of... some of these names remind me of some of the characters from God of War, or, you know. To Hephaestus at once. He will ensure it is kept safe until it is needed.
Until next week.
AKA, go take the anima to the guy who handles the Sanctum upgrades.
You are seen.
The Mawwalker returns, triumphant. Have you any anima on hand? I do. As the flow of anima withered within Bastion, our mighty Archon entrusted me with guarding our stores until they are needed. You may deposit any anima you recover into the reservoir here. By my life, and by the glory of the Archon, I will ensure that they are kept safe.
Follow the path.
There we go. Got over 2,000.
All things.
Every drop is precious. I will keep it safe here. All the anima in the Shadowlands will not restore Elysian Hold to its full glory without willing souls to ensure its many capabilities function properly. Soul Guide Dahlia is one of our most veteran watchers. She has been tasked with bringing souls to these halls once more. You should pay her a visit within the Sanctum of Binding to see if you might be of aid.
Our charge is sacred. Our vigil resolute.
I will say, I do kind of like the layout of this Sanctum. I've mainly, of course, been spending most of my time in the Necro Sanctum, as well as the Venthyr Sanctum. But I do like the openness of this, how it just feels like some of these places are easy to get to. There is this extra area down here, though. But at the same time, it's like, it doesn't feel like... I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it just... I like the layout of this one.
What troubles you?
Your arrival is most timely, Mawwalker. Even with all your aid, our sanctum will grow weaker without souls willing to help us. Many souls that may have been destined for Bastion are trapped within the Maw. If you find a way to free them, they will help us restore Elysian Hold's power. Seek out what aid you can and do what we cannot, Mawwalker. Our very future may depend on it.
Together we are strong.
Alright, back to the Maw. I have a few other world quests here that I was like, oh, I'll go do that. Some of the, a few of these give some gear upgrades. And of course, a couple of these give a decent amount of ammo. Like the world boss. Because, hey, now that I'm level 60, I can actually participate with some of these. When, if you're below 60, it's a little hard to do that.
Our duty is true. Our purpose, pure.
gonna take a while to unlock the upgrade, which I did on my Death Knight, where I actually got the rank 3 upgrade to for the transport, to be able to have a portal that goes from here straight to Oribos, which is really nice. But at the same time, it's like, it's right here. That's another thing I like about the Kyrian Sanctum compared to the Necro. For the Necro, I have to exit the Sanctum and then go down to the other flight, to the Flight Master that's outside. Whereas here, it's like, oh, it's just right above me. So it just feels like it's a little bit smaller and easier to get around and get to. It's almost like comparing what Borealis was like compared to Zuldazar. It felt like Borealis was a little easier to get around, and the layout was a little more compact, so that you didn't have to go too far to get from like one place to another, compared to Zuldazar, where you had to exit out and then you had to make your way down to the harbor area in order to get to those places. So it was just kind of like, if only this was a little closer, but it wasn't that big a deal. It was just one of those little annoyances where you're just like, oh my goodness. Of course, if you're a mage, this isn't an issue at all, because you can just teleport straight to Oribos without issue. So it almost becomes kind of unnecessary to get that upgrade if you don't want to even bother, as long as your teleport isn't giving you any problems or issues. I actually know a friend of mine who mains a mage, and I think it was either the teleport or the portal for Oribos was giving her issues, so she wasn't using it for a while. I'm pretty sure they have fixed it by now. So, by the way, I want to point out that I did notice this new aura that they added called Concentration Aura, which seems pretty nice. It actually reduces the cooldown for interrupt and silence effects for you or your party or raid members. So it allows you to do interrupts and such much more often, it seems. And I thought, wow, that seems really good if you're going up against a encounter where you have to do a lot of interrupts. I imagine having that aura for the Council of Blood fight is pretty nice to have, considering how often we have to have our interrupts ready to go. Hi, Venari. How are you?
I have limitless time. You do not. Do not drove.
So yeah, I'm skipping that because, well...
Will that be all?
I've already shown this to you guys on my main character.
You can find discarded in the mall. I pride myself in recognizing a valuable asset when I see one. I will Rule 1. Always have an exit strategy. To ensure one's continued existence within the mall, one must maintain a plan of escape at all times.
So in case you're wondering, no, I have not spent the time to get my maw mount yet. Let's just say that the idea of doing 8 layers of the, what is it? You know, that particular wing of Torghast. The Twisting Corridors, that's the one. In order to get that mount, I just haven't been able to really spend the time to do so. Especially when you realize how long one of them takes, it then feels like, okay, well,
have a target.
You trespass in my domain, mortal. No matter where you hide, I will find you.
It's too far away.
Yes, yes, I'm sure you will, Jailer.
I need a target.
There we go. All right. Gosh, it's so weird only doing this for 5. I'm so used to spending so much time here getting 20. It's weird doing this fresh with only 5. Now we go get the cipher. Of course, just wait till we get to my druid. It won't be an issue. I won't even need that on my druid, right? But yeah, you can also see the 2 different versions. This is actually, I think, the one you can craft, which I think is more likely for me to actually spend time doing, because apparently all you really need is a decent amount of Stygia, and just like, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours to just run around and doing the steps in order to craft it, as opposed to going through the 8 layers of the Twisting Corridors. The issue is the time required and needed, because I was starting to realize each layer of the Twisting Corridors takes a long time to do. And I was like, I don't know if I have the time to do that. At least not right now, anyway. But hey, if there are ways to get other mounts rather than doing that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd like to do that, but I gotta set some time aside in order to pull that off.
Procure. Rule 2. Keep a low profile. The Mo is no place for theatrics. Get in, get what you want, and get out, while endeavoring to retain your limbs and other possessions. Now that the jailers noticed you, you're doomed. Anything of import you do in the mall will catch his attention. And attention is exactly what we don't want.
I know, Venari.
First, he'll turn the Soul Seekers on you. Then the Towers. Then his kill squads. And after that, well, you don't want to know. Surgical.
What's good about doing this on my alts is that I should have all the Torghast upgrades available for this character because I got them all on my main.
The good news is that you're safe here in my refuge. Not so out there. Remember, should a tragic fate befall you, some of that precious Stygia might slip through your finger.
Oh, I know, Venari, and it's incredibly annoying when it does. Because then I have to run back and recollect it, especially when I drop all of it.
Fret not, mortal. A day at most away from his gaze, and the jailer will turn his attention elsewhere. Then it will be safe for you to venture out again, to acquire Stygia. For me.
Yeah, because you provide a number of nice upgrades, including putting a socket on many different pieces of our gear, which I'm sure many of you understand how important that is, right?
Anything of interest.
But you can even see here, there are permanent upgrades for the Maw, but the Torghast upgrades are gone here because they're account-wide, which is fantastic.
Only if you must. Discover Rule 3. Trust is earned, and information has a price. You recall the cipher I gave you? That's right. You are now in my debt.
I hope Venari is not a one-off character here. That she's not just a character that they just use for this purpose in this expansion, and then they never do anything with her again, you know? I like having characters make a recurring appearance, that they actually serve more than one purpose or role in the game. That they actually continue to make appearances because they intended more than just this one thing. Because otherwise it sounds like, okay, well then I probably shouldn't care that much about this character. Even if they are dropping little things here and there, that makes me think that they are actually more important of a character than we realize. And this should get me the little thing here that lets me know, oh, Bane is here! And I'll have to go save him and all that, so... Keep in mind that right now I'm mainly doing this just to get to the next steps in the Kyrian Covenant campaign, so...
For the Earth Mother!
Bane! Don't worry, Bane, I'll save you. Yeah, I may end up needing to come down here as a prop paladin in the future.
I need to target something first.
Just to make it a little easier to survive.
Your soul shall soon be bound to the jail.
But man, do I love the visuals of the abilities for Ret Paladin. Look at that. Avenging Wrath is so cool.
You will claim your soul!
Oh, it's nice to be playing a class that can heal itself again. Let me say that again. Let me rephrase that. It's nice to once again be playing a class that can actually heal itself after a fight. I miss being able to do that, because I used to do that all the time on my shaman. But playing as a Death Knight, couldn't really do that. So being on my Paladin, it's like, oh, nice, I can heal myself. And it'll be the same case on my Druid. Eventually, I'm gonna do this with some of my other alts. Even to get some of the other transmog stuff. Like, my Shaman will eventually make a return. I'm gonna, I have him joining the Venthyr. I've had him as an enhancement. I'm gonna keep him that way. Plus, the Venthyr set for Shamans looks really cool. My other Shaman will join Necro, my Volpera. Since she's gonna mainly be just Elemental. And maybe Resto.
All mysteries will be revealed. Tread carefully when the eye of the jailer falls upon you. You really shouldn't linger here. The jailer doesn't like having his toys taken away, even once he discarded. Go on, back to Arbus with you.
Alright, let's go talk to Bolvar. Gotta do this stuff before I can continue with the Kyrian stuff, so... And don't worry, this should go faster on my Druid, because like I said, since the beginning of the expansion, Druids have been able to use their stag form or travel form here in the Maw, which the gag early on, before the mount in the Maw was introduced, was that Druids were just laughing at everybody else. Seeing everyone having to run around in the Maw, and Druids were just like, ah ha ha ha, look at us, using our travel forms, ha 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 ha. It's also worth noting shamans can use their ghost wolf. But you get what I'm saying. Alright, let's see if I have to do the Torghast part here.
What news?
Nope. Alright. The Kyrian of Vital. In the meantime, I suggest you bring the souls you rescued to Elysian Hold. The Kyrian are vital to the Shadowlands. If Bastion remains in turmoil, then all might soon be lost. Oh, don't worry, Bolvar. That'll happen even more so later, when a certain prince pays a visit. Look, I'm just saying, there better be some follow-up there. By the way, some people immediately thought, oh my gosh, the Archon's dead! No. No, she's not. She's, I'm sure, incredibly hurt. I'm sure there's going to be a dramatic follow-up to that where we go to her and she's, like, in a lot of pain. You know?
Trust in the Arbiter.
Actually, no. Hold on. Just in case. I'll just go ahead and fly back. Who knows? I could need that cooldown any moment. You never know. I mean, it's not like I'm on my shaman where I can have an extra Hearthstone, right? But yeah, I imagine that when that patch comes out, one of the first things we're going to be doing is going up to the area when we hear about, by the way, the Archon was attacked. And we go there and we find her just kind of like in immense pain, but not dead. That's just my speculation, of course. We shall see. I haven't even gotten to the point where I've gotten the weekly quests of like, hey, go do this and this. Of course, the skip, I'm sure, allows you to just skip past all this and go straight to getting our first soulbind. Which, like I said, that'll be very nice to have on my alts that I'm not doing on camera. But this is, of course, to show you what it's like when you are actually going to be doing these covenants. The whole kind of process. I cannot wait to be able to fly in these zones. There are a number of things I haven't bothered getting or collecting just because I'm like, I don't want to do that without flying. Flying just cuts down the time needed to do that and makes it less aggravating. And, I don't know, perhaps a bit more fun or enjoyable, but more tolerable, I guess, could actually be the phrase used here. Huh. He has another little quest down there for me, I guess. I'll have to go down there and check and be like, hey, what is it?
By the Archon's grace.
Welcome back. Our work has not paused in your absence. Our brothers and sisters are spread thin fighting the Forsworn, maintaining order among aspirants waiting to ascend, and countless other duties. The willing souls you recovered from the Maw will be a great boon to our capabilities in these dire times. Go to Hafis at once. He has long been searching for aid in activating some of our Sanctum's most powerful features. It is time we saw Elysian Hold brought to its full potential.
Find your purity.
You seek me?
I could feel their presence as soon as you brought them to the hold. What a momentous occasion. As thanks for your efforts in recovering the Animan souls we now have available, you may decide which of the Elysian Hold's features we upgrade first. Once active, it shall expand our capabilities to help not only Bastion, but all the Shadowlands. Do not worry. As you continue to recover Animan willing souls, we will activate them all in time. For now, a single upgrade must suffice. And we'll get our first piece of the set for the Covenant.
Courage steel your heart.
Alright, so we can either get the transportation network, table, or the anima connector. We'll get the transport network. Boop. I just realized, oh wait, never mind, I can get both! Because I already had 2,000 anima. Yay!
Archon shield you.
A wise decision. It will take some time to activate, but all good things are worth waiting for, are they not? That's debatable. There is one last thing that you must do before we can act to clean up Denathrius' chaos. You must have a soul bind. All Kyrian undergo this sacred ritual, albeit typically many eons before they stand before the Archon herself. Soul Guide Dahlia will guide you in this process. Seek her out in the chamber below.
Go in service.
Whoops. Fat-fingered that, sorry.
The soul binding chamber is this way.
Oh, Pelagos. Hey, buddy. There we go. First piece of that set. Oh, hey, Clea.
Greetings, my friend. Happy to help.
You seek guidance?
I see even now that your soul burns brighter than most. Hey, I got exalted with my new guild on this character.
Together we rise.
To soul bind with another is not an irrevocable bond. However, it is not to be entered into lightly. You will experience one another's past, your hopes, fears, dreams, your very memories, if any still linger. You will become kindred spirits in the truest sense. Once complete, your connection will transcend physical space and make you stronger and more than mere brawn. So we will get Pelagos as our first soul bind.
Aspirant Clea, thank you for joining us on this sacred occasion to witness the bonding of this outsider with Aspirant Pelagos.
Pelagos?
Clea, they saved me. And many others. It does make sense.
Keep in mind, these two are soul binds.
Soul Guide. I just hope I can keep my bond with Clea as well.
You shall. This ancient device shall allow your souls to connect. Simply reach out to one another.
So yeah, this just confirms that you're not restricted to one soul bind, because after all, we are not. We can have up to 3 soul binds in our, covenants. We just utilize only one of them at a time. But just because he's binding with us doesn't mean he stops being a soul-bound to Clea. So that's cool. Alright, Pelagos.
Have you read anything
With a soul bind.
I feel everything. By the Archon. What a life you have lived.
You have no idea. By the way, I've actually entertained the idea of race changing my paladin here from a blood elf to a Zandalari. I've been kind of tossing the idea around in my head whether or not I'd want to do that. What do you guys think? Do you think he should stay a blood elf, or do you think I should change him to a Zandalari? I kind of think it, I'd like to keep him as a blood elf, mainly so I can actually show off the boots. But anyway, because after all, you can't really do that on a troll, right?
What troubles you?
Your journey together is just beginning. To bond souls is but the first step. You must now explore its potential. Just as Pelagos will gain strength from you, so too shall you grow from him. As your bond grows over time, you will touch deeper into one another's souls, and so your strength shall increase. All you must do is place your hand upon the forge of bonds to augment your bond. There is no price to pay. The only limitation is your connection to our sacred covenant.
Go in service.
So, the first ability that he gives us is Combat Meditation. Divine Toll increases your mastery by 350 for 10 seconds, and occasionally expels sorrowful memories. Walking through sorrowful memories will extend this effect by 3 seconds. By the way, mastery for a paladin, at least a ret paladin, is that it increases our holy damage done. So, yeah.
You seek guidance?
May you prove worthy allies to one another in the trials to come. So we'll get a few soulbinds here. Divine Toll has a 40% chance to cast up to 3 extra times on the main target. Consecration will heal you for 96 every second while standing within it. Or Divine Seed's duration is increased by 50%. I like all 3 of these for a paladin. Oh my goodness, that sounds awesome. While the gifts your bond shall bring you are substantial, you may also empower yourself further through the use of conduits. Conduits act to channel the energy of your soulbind into your form more directly, increasing your potential in a myriad of ways. Use the ones I have given you as a test of this power, but fear not, you will find others as you aid the Shadowlands.
Archon watch over.
Alright, so now we can choose a path. Alright. Focusing mantra. Defeating an enemy lowers the cooldown of your File of Serenity by a second. Defeating an enemy grants you 10% movement speed for 20 seconds. This effect is increased if defeating a powerful enemy. File of Serenity heals you for 35% additional health, but all of its healing is done over 10 seconds. Let's go with this one, actually. So that's going to need an endurance one, so we'll go ahead and do this one. Extra survivability.
It is done. May the power within your soul serve you well. Together we rise.
Your soulbind will grow alongside you in time, but your training is complete for now. You have been fully inducted into our sacred covenant, Mawwalker, and may stand tall forevermore as a Kyrian. There will be many challenges ahead of us. We shall face them together. For now, return to Polmarch Adrestus, and inform him that your training is complete. We are few in number as of late, and I am sure that he will have need of you. Go in service.
Go in service.
That's what I just said. That's what you just said.
Do you need a task?
On behalf of our glorious Archon, may you follow the path always towards a brighter tomorrow. We're now Renown 6. The High Lord calls. Oh yeah, Bolvar. I'm sorry, I got thrown off because of the fact that I have the title of High Lord, which I received from Tyrian Fordring. We have received word from High Lord Fordrag, urging you to return to him in Orbos at once. All I know is it pertains to the Maw. You should go to him with haste. Anything involving that dark place must be our top priority.
Remain humble.
Ah, that's a calling. I'll pick that up. Ooh. The Paragons. Hello, Zandria.
You have my attention.
Hello, Thenios. Hello, Devos. Huh. Kirestia. No one ever calls her that. They only ever call her Archon. Ah, there are some of the other quests that now pop up for the week. Should go grab those.
What troubles you?
Go get 5 more souls.
Watch over you.
Archon's light shine upon you.
Go get more anima.
Yes, mortal.
And that's why I was holding off on doing some of those other ones. Like the world boss.
Yes, mortal.
Another calling.
Watching you, mortal.
Alright. So... yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be having to go back to... probably go through Torghast in order before we can actually continue that, so...
Our fates converge. We will not.
But we will go ahead and find out. Before we cut off here. Gosh, I love... this is why I love having flying in this game. You can't see views like this when you're on the ground all the time. And I just love being able to look at these big zones just from high up in the sky. Yeah. I'd just be repeating myself, because I've said it before. That this allows me to appreciate the work that the art team does on these zones much more than if I was just on the ground all the time. But I've said that before. And I'm sure some of you are tired of hearing me saying that over and over. Especially those of you who argue against flying being in the game in the first place, saying that it destroys the game and flying has killed the game and all that. You'll never hear me agree with that. I'm sorry. I love flying in this game. And if I couldn't be able to actually fly in this game, it'd be so much less enjoyable. Like, not being able to fly, the first time we go through is fine, because we're kind of experiencing certain things for the first time. But when you're then at this point where you have... spend a lot of time here and you're trying to get some other things done where it's like, hey, go over here, go over here, go over here. And being able to fly and just cut that down just to make it so, you know, like being able to do stuff in Legion now with flying is so much, you know, more tolerable and a bit more fun and less tiresome and aggravating because you can be able to have, you know, utilize flying in order to get it done faster. And if that was just simply taken away or removed to appease a certain amount of people who think that flying needs to be removed from the game, I would really question Blizzard's sanity at that point. Alright, Bolvar, what would you like me to do?
We all have a duty to fulfill.
Yep, going to Torghast. Okay, so obviously I have a little bit of busy work to do here. Gotta do these callings, gotta take care of these things here, and then we can be able to continue the actual Kyrian campaign. So I'm gonna take care of some of that stuff off camera, and then we will try to continue the actual Kyrian Covenant campaign. Stay tuned.